Man, hello everyone, and welcome back with your mans and them, the one and only Coach Tony, and this is the Pull Up Podcast Show. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight, as we have got some changes ahead of us this evening. Our guest, the one and only Coach Sonia Chase from Chase Your Dreams Foundation, is having, like myself here in the Tennessee area, some traumatic weather that is going on. And unfortunately, she's delayed. So hopefully the man upstairs, we know he's the only one who can handle everything for us in the right way. So hopefully he lifts up a lot of the things that are going on and allows her to join the show. But Sonia has got a tremendous story. And if we can't get her on tonight, trust me, we're going to reschedule and make sure she comes about. But before we get started tonight, we're in season 3, episode 314. As we pile along here, please make sure you do a few things for us. Please make sure you like the show, share the show with your friends. So we give you quarter by quarter sports information. It's been one of the hottest sports shows in the country. And more importantly, subscribe to the show. So instead of having the wonderful Sonia with us this evening, and hopefully she jumps on, I got another guest for you. But before we do that, Val, you know what to do. Drop it.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. Val's the boys and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. I said Val's the boys and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast.
Man, welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast Show with your main mans and them, the one and only Coach Tony, as we give you quarter by quarter of sports information. Tonight, we're going to jump in to a little summer league action. But before we do that, standing in as my sidekick, which we normally have on our every Tuesday and Interludes Talk on Tuesday. You guys already know her. Bring out my sidekick, my girl, my one and only Val, the Voice Johnson. Welcome to the stage.
Hi, Coach.
Woo-hoo. What's going on tonight, young lady? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. And I am excited to be here. Grateful to sit in as our guest. You know, I did not realize it was going to be doing what it's doing. I'm sitting here going, oh, my Lord, what's going on? But of course, it is. Storms, thunderstorms, these things happen in the summertime. It is in the middle. We're in July, ladies and gentlemen, your birth month. These are some of the things that happen. So, but we're excited to welcome you guys here to the Pull Up Podcast Show, as I like to stay behind the scenes on the sports show. But yeah, that's me.
It's great. I'm glad I got you, because we're going to go for a two for tonight. One, you just kind of got back to where we're going to have our leading story. You had an opportunity to get away this week, and people don't realize that. You just got back from Viva Las Vegas. How was all that? You like that one, huh? How was that trip to Vegas?
I'm cracking up on how you're singing Viva Las Vegas. I'm going to talk about this on tomorrow night when we talk about our about our entertainment show on tomorrow. But I went there for a business conference, but I have to say, the folks at the Mandalay Bay Inn, they were so sweet. Let me see if I can show this pic to you guys. That's the hotel.
Good, Val.
Yeah, that's the hotel I stayed at, the Mandalay Bay. It was really beautiful out there, and the staff, everybody was really good. But I was there at the very same time as the NBA and the summer league. So I figured, as we were finding out more about what was going to be happening with our guest tonight, I said, well, why don't we talk about the league and that happening out there. So I'm excited because I you know what, Coach, I got a chance to watch a little bit the first day of the NBA draft this year. So I kind of know some of the kids that are coming or that are now with us.
You guys don't know how far Val's come. That's like the new Superman movie. He's jumping over the building, right? That's like, it's wonderful to hear Val. That's like music to my ears because I know that she's soaking it up like a sponge and getting it all in. So I'm loving it. And I was jealous when you told me you were heading to Vegas because at first, before you told me why you were going, I'm like, man, she ready to go to Summer League. She didn't even tell me.
I wasn't going for that. I went there for a completely different reason, but I did see postings all around Vegas, especially when you come right into the airport and it says welcome, NBA Summer League. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think it wasn't at the Michelob Stadium where the WNBA Aces play, but I did see
no, it's not. They have it on the strip all the time at either one of the hotels, or they'll have it up at UNLV for a majority of the time.
Yeah. So it was 100. It was in the hundreds every single day, Tony. It was, you could just go ahead and fry an egg on the ground.
On the sidewalk. Hey, is that the real story of fried dye laid to the side?
Pretty much. It was very warm in Vegas, but I think how exciting to see these kids play. You've seen them play college, but now they are competing and doing the summer league. And I believe the summer league goes from July 7th all the way to the 17th. And I think that it's still going. So it's probably going to end. It ends Thursday of this week.
Yeah, it's in Thursday with championship game with these guys. And it started out in the Utah area. They have it two different things. Vegas is the pinnacle. That's where like once the teams get down to like the Sweet 16, Elite 8, they bring them into Vegas, and it's been great each and every year. And Vegas have done a tremendous job. I think the NBA has done a great job of partnering with Las Vegas because, as you say, Val, you're in the middle of the desert, 100 degrees every day, and you're trying to keep these young men busy, right, without getting on the golf course and doing different things of that nature. So I think that they've done a tremendous job. And this year's draft has been draft pick, and what we're seeing in the Summer League, I'm thinking we're going to have a pretty solid NBA season because the number one draft pick, Cooper Flagg, where as we all know, coming out of Duke, he is actually one of the first white All-Americans here as an American to be drafted overall number one since like the 80s. So it's been years. And so I don't think the young man is going to disappoint. And I think he's going to be absolutely excellent. To me, Val, he's going to a great spot. He's playing with the Dallas Mavericks. As we already know that story, right? They traded Luka Doncic to LA with LeBron, and then they brought our very own Chicago-owned Anthony Davis over to Dallas and teamed him up with Kyrie Irving. Both had some minor injuries, and then Dallas kind of tanked the ship. And this young man, I think, is going to be phenomenal. I think the first night he came into Summer League, he only had like 10 or 11 points, a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. You know how that go, Val. You're a rookie, all eyes on you, and everyone wants you to do well. And I think it was just nervous energy and then just his own probably personal expectations to do well. And sometimes those two don't mix.
Exactly. And I think what's going to be exciting to see what happens with Cooper is him kind of maintaining his same stats that he had with where did he play college? It was
Duke University.
Duke University, Duke almost went all the way. I was so hurt because I was following.
It came down to Cooper's last shot. If you remember, we were watching that game, and he had that the putback, and he slipped on the floor. He makes that jump shot. He makes that jump shot there in the national championship game.
Exactly. But things are just at a different level at the NBA level, and the good thing about it is with him, they're going to probably integrate him possibly in as one of the starters with Dallas, because Dallas kind of needs a boost, especially with that trade that happened.
Oh yeah, and you got to look at a couple of things too, as you mentioned that talking about boost. Jason Kidd's the coach. They try to get him out of there. He's going to stay put, which I'm glad. I like Jay Kidd. I've always liked
Right.
Jay Kidd. He's a California boy from the Bay Area. Went to UK, University of California. Big time ball player, came out of there. And I think he's a great coach for a young kid in Cooper Flagg. I think he's the type of coach that can really get this young kid in the right direction. For one, they're talking about, the way he has his handles and the way the kid can play. You're talking about, to me, like a baby Luka Doncic who's already in shape. And you just mentioned it a moment ago. If he can put up Duke-type numbers with Dallas, averaging in the 20s and 6 or 7 rebounds, 2 or 3 or 4 assists, you may see Dallas as a contender coming out of the West, Val, this year, making a deep playoff run. But I think it's going to be all incumbent on how well Kyrie Irving returns off of his injury. And then Anthony Davis, again, I love these guys to death. But these pros and these shoes, they wearing these low-top shoes, they're getting hurt. And Anthony Davis has had a career of foot injuries. And to get them together, and I love it. I wish the Bulls would bring him home. But in the meanwhile, he's out in Texas playing with Dallas. And I think that they always talk about the big three, Val, right? And they got a big three. They got Kyrie Irving at the guard. They'll have Cooper Flagg off the wing, a big wing. And then they'll have Anthony Davis underneath. And they got some good pieces coming off the bench. So stay tuned to Coach Tony as the year comes about, because I may be giving you some of my for promotional purposes only. Dallas may be making a big run.
And one thing that I've noticed in the last 7 seasons of the NBA, you could not bet on the same team winning back-to-back championships. It's been switching off every year, which is good because you never know.
It's great for the game. And San Antonio, Oklahoma showed that this year. And I got a lot of people in the back. So please make sure you guys get in this conversation. I want to hear what you're thinking about if you're following Summer League alone. And make sure you let me know who you liking out there as a player right now you think is going to be a breakout star. And speaking of a breakout star, I hate it for Illinois. I really do, because I thought that Brad Underwood's got some big things down in Champaign downstate that's going on right now, Val. But we lost Kasparas, Jakucionis, the young kid that came over from Illinois. He got picked up by the Miami Heat. Welcome, thank you. He got drafted early, and he's going to play for the Heat. He's fitting in well, and I think he's going to be a great addition because Miami just traded Duncan Robinson, and who was a 3-point specialist, trading him out. And, of course, we already know Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy went to Golden State. Now, to get this kid in, this kid's already knocked out 24 points, 5 3, 4 assists. He's not scared to shoot. He's not scared to attack the basket. And I think going to Miami is going to be, that's going to be with Tyler Hero. Him and Tyler Hero playing together, that could be scary. And and they got OG in the middle, which is, that's Asia Wilson's current young man boyfriend in the middle. So again, you replace a shooter with a better kid who's young, he can really play, and then you got another kid off the wing out of Kentucky, and then you got OG. So I think Miami may be back to make some noise in the Eastern Conference this year. Do you like this kid at all?
Yeah, I saw it. This was one of the few people that I saw during the draft, because remember, this is one of the first times I kind of watched through with the draft. And I like the stats. And of course, I'm a little biased because he's out of UIC.
No, University of Illinois.
University of Illinois. So he's
down in Champaign.
Down in Champaign. So we kind of we want to claim him, right, Tony? We want to go ahead and
we gonna definitely claim him.
We'll go ahead and claim him. So he did well. And here's the thing. How that translates to the NBA, we'll see. And he'll show us what he can do. And he's doing that in the summer league right now there in Vegas.
Yeah, and I'm loving every minute of it. Hey, we are having some great summer league NBA sports talk, quarter by quarter information. I got my sidekick, my one and only Val, the voice Johnson, sitting right here. I'm driving that motorcycle. She's sitting down in that little pouch. You know, the little bitty seat down there, they sit down. We had the helmet on with the glasses back in the day. We'll be right back. We're going to pay some bills after this first quarter. And we're going to make sure that we stop so Val can stretch, because I know she can't sit down here that long.
I don't.
Right back.
I didn't sign up for this at all. I didn't.
Hey, it's your main man, right back at you, coming live here from the Rise Studios, and it's your guy talking about what? Pull Up Podcast Show. What is the Pull Up Podcast Show? It's a brand new podcast hitting your airways nationwide, talking everything on sports, from baseball, basketball, hockey, and then I tell you, we're going to have a lot of fun. So make sure, if you want your questions answered, you want to have fun talking a lot of sports, make sure you pull up on me, because it's the Pull Up Podcast Show.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up.
Also, for those that want to learn a little bit more about this right here, oh yeah, that right there, that's the Rise, NIL, talking name, image, and likeness. Those having opportunities, getting paid, you want to tune in to it.
Sports show, let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up.
Man, welcome back to quarter two of the Pull Up Podcast Show. It's your main man, the one and only Coach Tony, and my sidekick, my roadie, Val, the voice Johnson. You know, let's get back to where you said with that young man, you know, down in Champaign. I go back looking at home sometime, Val, how powerful Illinois should be, looking at all the talent that come out of Chicago, and even next door in Iowa, and even next door in Indiana. So I'm just glad that Brad Underwood is trying to rebuild. And I know we didn't put this out to talk about it, but Hawkins, you know, my guy Hawkins, that I wish he would have stayed at Illinois. He transferred and went to K-State. And I think if he would have stayed at Illinois, played with Kasparas, I think he'd probably be in the NBA as well. But, he, you know, right now with this NIL money, right, everybody want to move. Everybody want to get paid. I think he made a move too quickly. And right now he's having to climb that ladder, and he'll probably end up in a G League, maybe even overseas and all that. But, you know, I think you're going to look at Illinois. They're rebuilding quickly, and they'll be back probably top 2, top 3 in the Big Ten this year.
Okay. Well, this sounds exciting to me. And whenever there's a rebuilding year, I never want coaches or owners to break up the band. If the band is playing well, and I'm referring to the players, especially the starting 5, they're playing well together. If you bring in someone else that's been doing well, especially at the collegiate level, let's see if that gels, but don't break up the band.
I hate that, you know, I'm glad you put it like that. Cause when you said that, you know, my first inkling was like Jerry Reinsdorf, how he did Jordan and the guys, right? But unfortunately, we had the great Jordan, so we were able to recover and win 3 more rings. But, you know, just going through that process, and they didn't respect Mike, and Mike didn't really make the money until his last 2 years on his contract with the Bulls, 25 and 27 million. And now these kids, 25, 27 million is just like starting fee. Right now, these boys up in the 40s, 50s, and 60 range, 70 range, which is insane. We know that Oklahoma Thunder won the NBA title this year, and SGA just got the biggest contract of anyone in NBA history. He's making $77.8 million per year. That's crazy.
It
crazy.
is.
I mean, even if I play 1 year and get hurt, I'm good with $77 million. Would you take $77 million for 1 year, Val?
I would take 7 million for 1 million. 77.
Hey, I'd take 700,000 for a year. All you gotta do is offer it to me.
But here's the thing. I'm thinking about, is someone in the background teaching these people to be, and I'm referring to the players, to be responsible with your NIL money and your NBA money. Like, just don't blow it all in one spot. Don't get tatted up, because tattoos are expensive. You get tatted up, you doing
they get tatted. They get tatted. But at least I must give it to these younger players though, Val. They're coming out a little smarter than we did, because you just hit it right on the head. We didn't have the financial literacy, any of that stuff at all. And my guy D Rose right there, Derek Reed, checking in with me right there, man. He said, man, he'll take 77 million. I know you will, reality, because you're the hardest working man right now, in the healthcare side. I know you'll take 77 million. And I want to know too, Derek, while you listening tonight, me and Val just talked about your boy, Cooper Flagg, and how he's going to fit in. Val, there's no bigger fan of the Dallas Mavericks than my boy Derek Reed. If I call him in the game zone, hey, Cole, let me hit you back. Let me call you back. Let me get back. Like, wait a minute, because the Mavs was on. And I get it, because I remember when Jordan was killing, that's how I was watching the Bulls. So I get it. But he was a little upset last year with the Luka Doncic trade, because he's the one who actually told me probably about 3 or 4 years ago, man, we got this boy Luka Doncic, and when it's all said and done, he's going to probably be one of the baddest NBA guys ever to hold a basketball. I'm like, man, you're crazy. Then I see what Luka's did, and I see what he's about to do, and we're going to get to that in a little bit talking to the Lakers. But, Derek, I want to know your opinion on what you think that Cooper Flagg is going to be able to come down to Texas to do, and see if he can change things. And speaking of changing, Val, we had my mans in them on my show, LeVar Ball. And
I remember him being on. Yeah, that was a fun guy. Situation.
And I had a friend of mine, Val, that just had a great conversation with him, he and T. Cole, last week. And he said LeVar talked about me in the show. And I thought that was pretty cool. Out of nowhere.
Really? Well, what did he say?
He just said, hey, man, the dude that mentioned that, I know Coach Tony said, man, I was on that boy's show, man. I love him to death. I got to get back on there. And he's like, man, he like part of the family now. So I thought, man, hey, LeVar, man, I appreciate being part of the family. But all I want to do is taste that cornbread, because you grabbing that damn cornbread, and me and you may have to have a little skillet competition or something, because I can get down with some cornbread myself. So we may have to meet up.
During the show that we had with LeVar Ball and Coach Travis, and also one of the folks that works with him, I think his name was Tony as well. Tony Cole. So he was in the middle of baking, and that's something that LeVar likes to do, is bake. So we were a little sad that we were interrupting his baking.
Hey, Val, we should have hit him with that wonderful clip from Life. You can't have my cornbread.
You can't have my cornbread. You can't have it. But it was but it was good having him on. And I see Mr. Springer is checking us out.
Okay, Springer. Thanks for checking in the house tonight, baby. You already there. Always appreciate you, Springer. You can keep me up on them little tidbits of information, stuff to watch, stuff to check out. So, man, I appreciate you, man. Love it.
Yeah. So the other folks that we should talk about regarding the summer league that's happening right now, that's wrapping up in Vegas, is
Liam McNeeley.
One other person.
Got to talk about him.
Who the gentleman who we want to talk about is who?
Liam McNeeley. He's that's why I mentioned about the ball, because he's playing with LeVar's son, with Melo, and Nashville's own Brandon Miller. And I think Liam, he has had, in my personal opinion, probably one of the better summer league stats. This kid's already had 3 double-doubles. He's already averaging 20-10. And we're talking about summer league, Val, where These kids are just trying to make a roster. They're just trying to make a team. And if this kid can go to Charlotte, and y'all listen to me right now, Charlotte was on the brink. They were there before Brandon got hurt, broke his wrist. Melo tweaked his ankle. He's got ankle situation going on. If they can get healthy and Liam can come out and give Charlotte, I'm going to say 82 games, if he can give Charlotte 30 double-doubles, 30.
Okay.
So that means
30, that many. Okay.
that's a lot of double-doubles. That means he's going to give them, if he can give them at least every other game a double-double. And I may say 30 may be a lot, but I'll say at least 20. At least 20 double-doubles. That's 25% of the season all the way through. If he can give them 20 double-doubles and whatnot, then Charlotte will be back because you got Melo playing great at the guard. You got Brandon doing his thing. And I still think Brandon Miller is going to probably be one of the best NBA guys in a long time coming. People haven't seen him yet, but he's going to have a breakout year. And I think this may be his breakout year. We're going to get him on the podcast, too, to talk about it. But I think this Liam McNeeley guy can be a great addition to Charlotte Hornets and really put a plug in what they need in terms of getting them to the playoffs.
So during the summer league, it looks like he got 22 points and 12 rebounds. And I see that Derek Reed, he says this is his first time seeing Cooper play. And he says Cooper is a player that will help Dallas heal from the loss of Luka. And I guess a lot of us have been saying that, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's going to. But again, on that, Derek, I think, if Coop can come in and do what Coop can do, which I know he can, I don't think they'll be chanting Luka's name too much longer because the new slogan is now called the flagship, Val. That's the new nickname, the flagship.
Wow.
So that's how money goes, the flagship. And again, and that's what I'm talking about. And so you got that. But the kid that I really want to talk about, who is one of the most impressive kids, and you love this story too, and he's a kid that came out of Baylor University. By the way, across the water, and I say across water, the brand new Gulf of America. Anyway, VJ Edgecombe. And I loved his story. Kid come out of Bahamas, lived in a car for a while, made it, just wanted an opportunity to play basketball, impress his family, and went down to Baylor and focused, never transferred, and just did his thing. What do you think about this kid, Val?
I was impressed with what I heard from his, and I'm always going to be thinking about it from the perspective of what was happening personally with him. Before, things that happen off the court to me is just as important as what happens on the court. Yes. So I was watching the NBA draft, and this is VJ when they called him and said that he was going to be, I think he was either 4th or 5th, one of the round picks. He hugged his mom. Oh no, he was the 7th pick. I'm looking at it right
pick,
here.
Yes,
for the New Orleans Pelicans. I think so. Yeah. So just like you said, and then he's one of the few people that's come from the islands that was a part of the NBA draft. There was a few people that came from other countries as well, but just knowing his story and knowing how his mom worked, I believe, 2 jobs to help to support him while he was playing and in school, and she said that she wanted to make sure that he had his grades were as good as well as the athletics as well as everything else. So when you have a supportive team behind you, you can go very far, especially in sports. That's just my own personal opinion.
I mean, that's just in life. But it reminds me of the biggest bohemian that we love, and that is none other than Los Angeles Lakers, Rick Fox. Rick Fox, remember, super fine Rick Fox, and all that. But this kid right here, this kid is a flat out player. This kid did not get any big accolades. He wasn't a major recruit. He wasn't sought after. He wasn't any of that. He came in under the radar, and he went down and played for Drew. And he went down and played for him. and Coach Drew put him on. And he just said, hey, I just want a chance to get on the floor and show you what I can do. And through the entire season in the Big 12, he did absolutely that. Shocked me when the draft came up that he went that high. I thought he would go a little lower because I thought my guy from Florida, point guard from Florida, which was he's a beast, should have been number one higher than that. But it was okay. We're gonna get right back and go right back to this young guy and talk to him. And we're gonna take
let me jump in real quick. Let me correct myself. So he was a 3rd overall pick, and he went to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, went to Philadelphia. And we're gonna break down even some more how he's gonna fit in with my boy Maxey up at Philly, and Philly could be back if they can get the big boy rolling, get E knees together. And when we come back after halftime, to just make sure we let Coach Chase know, we got a special video we're going to play on her program talking about the Chase Your Dreams Foundation. If Val can cue it up, if she has it available. And if she has it available, we will. And we're going to take a break, pay some bills at halftime. We'll be right back on the Pull Up Podcast Show.
Are you a small business owner looking to grow? Introducing the Key Spot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAP. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. Key Spot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. Key Spot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
I've always thought about how my mom has supported me in any creative endeavor. How beautiful was it for your mom to be the superhero in your life and show up in your creative ventures with this book?
People ask her to sign the book more than they ask me to sign the book. Sometimes I step to the side, I take their picture. And, we have to celebrate our mothers. We got to celebrate our beginning. So she comes out with me. Every event, she is there. Even when I tell her she does not need to come, she will show up in the parking lot. And I'm like, oh, okay, you coming? Okay. I'm like, all right.
Right. And she got a bottle of wine in her hand.
What in the world? Why are you giving her alcohol?
No, I'm just saying. She showed up in the parking lot. She got a bottle of wine, nice wine. She's going to set it down. She ready for the show, Val. You know what I'm saying? Because the funny part about it is, CJ, I've actually talked to Val. I thought about, writing a book myself called My Man's in Them. But,
I love it.
And look at Val.
My man's in them.
My man's in them. But you got to read the book. You got to read the book. But it's a play. CJ, I apologize because Val should have dropped some old Dub C so you could have came out crip walking. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not flamed up right now. I got to hold on. Trying to get me shot.
Going back to school tomorrow, like, I saw you, Miss Charles. I saw you.
I mean, I can crip walk, so please, but I'm kind of, I'm authoring right now. You guys are funny.
Man, welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast Show. The one and only Coach Tony and my sidekick, Val the Bush Johnson. We were talking a moment ago about the Sonia Chase. Want to give Sonia some shout outs here. She's doing some phenomenal things in the DMV area for those that are down in that District of Columbia and Virginia, Val. She's serving over, 20,000 kids throughout her illustrious career. She's doing some big things right now with Nike, with her camps. She's trying to do some donations in terms of some things that she's trying to work with right now. And each and every year, she puts these Chase Your Dream Foundation camps and clinics on. I got an opportunity to meet Sonia, Val, back in 2010. And we laughed and joked about this the other day. And we didn't realize that until I had to go back and we were talking about it. And this is right before she was ready to launch her entire organization with the foundation and whatnot. I was doing some things with my camp. We were trying to figure out how to work together. And then she put on the first camp. I went down to Maryland and worked with the first camp. She's out of the Baltimore area. And I had an absolute blast. It actually, something I never told her, I learned a lot of things from that camp that she did. So when I came back to Nashville and started putting my name out there and started putting up camps and started doing these camps and clinics, I knew how to run it. And that all goes thanks to Sonia Chase. And I'm talking about, I got good friends, but Sonia was the first person that I physically got an opportunity to go work a camp and do some things. So I want to just say hats off to her.
Yeah, and she was our scheduled guest for tonight, but unfortunately, just dealing with some storms and things that are happening in the background. But what we wanted to do real quickly, we were going to do this while she was here, play at halftime. One of the things of an interview that she did with another gentleman regarding her foundation. We'd like to go ahead and play a little clip of that momentarily. Let me go ahead and bring it on up, and let's go ahead and see if we can do that. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Here we go.
I'm a student at Miss Sonia Chase's Nike basketball camp, and you're tuned into Urban Sports Beat.
Former University of Maryland and WNBA basketball star Sonia Chase continues to motivate the youth with her Chase Your Dreams basketball camp. Sonia, talk a little bit about this camp you're holding today.
This is my premier signature all-boys Nike camp. I'm in my 3rd season having my all-boys Nike camp, and we have grown tremendously from 75 campers my first year to my 2nd year at 115 to now my 3rd year at a record-setting 175 campers. So I'm ecstatic about that.
So this is your 3rd year holding the camp?
Correct.
It's your job to teach young people, but tell us what you are learning from the young people.
I think young people make you understand the importance of having patience. Okay. Because everybody learns at a different level, and you have to be able to communicate at the level in which that particular player is, whether they're developmental. I have 4 levels that I always talk about. I have developmental, progressive, advanced, and pro. And most of our children, our campers, are in the developmental and progressive phases. So they teach you patience is very important in order for them to be able to develop and learn the skills you're trying to teach them.
Okay, I see you have your Nike t-shirt on. Talk a little bit about your sponsors and supporters who help you with this camp.
I have a phenomenal board that helps me with my programs with Chase Your Dreams. And if it wasn't for my board and helping me to provide the resources to have certain things like trophies and certificates and evaluations and all these things that the kids like to leave with, Nike shoes and things of that nature, it wouldn't be possible. So Nike in and of itself, besides my board, Nike has been tremendous in providing giveaways such as hats and all kinds of things that the kids would, really enjoy.
So I have to say that it's very inspiring from Sonia, who is former WNBA player and also just someone who is using what she's learned in the field and actually helping her communities and underserved communities with having camps. I think it's very important when players, especially when they've kind of stepped away from playing, give back to communities and help with either that They are either doing training, they're bringing in people to do training, because it's arts and sports that help the youth dream and think beyond whatever situations they might be trying to escape, either from home or from their neighborhood. So I'm really excited that she agreed to be our guest this evening. But we'll probably go ahead and have her back. And I see Coach, I believe, has frozen on me, so that's interesting. I thought he was nodding on, but that's all good. But anyway, just really excited that you guys are joining us on the Pull Up Podcast Show. And Sonia Chase, we're really excited that she is she'll be back to discuss some things regarding her situation at her foundation. So I'll see if Coach is available to come back, because it looks like he froze. There's some bad storms that's happening there in Tennessee, so we'll just have to make sure that he's able to come back when he can. So we'll go ahead and do that. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know about some of the folks that I was checking out via the Summer League. I was in Vegas, and I unfortunately I unfortunately missed the entire NBA Vegas thing that they had for the Summer League. And Coach was saying a little bit earlier, he's like, I was so jealous that you were going to Vegas. I was like, I'm going for a totally different reason. One of the players that we talked about before the show that he said, Val, I would love to talk about and highlight, was someone who is currently, he's playing now. And let me go ahead and bring him up. It's Dylan Harper. I remember seeing him on the NBA draft. And so he is there in Vegas playing. He's doing very well. One of the last games that he played, he did 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals. He was recruited into the San Antonio Spurs. So if Coach was here, he would definitely let us know exactly how well Dylan would go ahead and integrate very well with the current starter team that is there with San Antonio. And if you guys recognize his last name, Harper, he has a very famous dad who played on the Bulls. And so we were really excited to talk about him. I was looking at his hair thinking it looks something like, who is that? Maxwell back in the days. But he's been doing very well. And let me bring up some stats on Dylan Harper. And like I said, I was just really excited to see him play. He's 19 years young. So he was recruited onto San Antonio, and I believe, Ron Harper from the Bulls. That's his dad. So I guess basketball is in this young man's blood. And so he's done some things. Now, according to San Antonio, I think unfortunately he had an injury that happened in Vegas. He was taking on the Dallas Mavericks on last night on the 12th. No, over the weekend. So this would be on Saturday. And so he was, according to San Antonio Spurs, they were saying that he was itching to get back on the court after 4 months without basketball. And he's going to get his wish to play against Cooper Flagg, who we mentioned earlier, and the Dallas Mavericks. And so we're excited for Dylan. I'm happy to see, with all of the new folks that are coming, what they're going to be doing. And Dylan, basketball is in his blood, because Ron played for Chicago for a couple of seasons, and then he played for a couple of other basketball seasons as well. Coach, you're back. So good to see you. So we were talking about
Sonia, I feel you. We got this weather down here. I heard Val just say, it's spotted tornadoes and things of that nature in the area. So I'm looking just on the show, because sometimes, we get those horns and we get tornadoes that pop up out of nowhere, and I got to take cover. So apologize about that. So you get.
That's fine.
I was talking to you, and all of a sudden I was gone. So
No, you were frozen. You were frozen, and then I was thinking, well, let's go right to one of the people that we discussed before the team.
yes, I'm glad you talked about Dylan Harper because that's my homeboy. I was kicking with Ron Harper and the homies back in the day when they was in Chicago back in the mid '90s. Whoa, there used to be some good parties downtown with him and my homeboy Cliff Levinson. Cliff, I wish you were listening tonight. I got to get Cliff on the show too. But I'm just glad to see that apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And Ron, I know you love me, man, but I think Dylan may be just a slight bit better than you when you came up out of Miami, Ohio, man. You know, I like what he's done. I think that, you know, Ron came out of Miami, Ohio. They were still tough in the MAC. You know, it's in the same conference that NIL, Northern Illinois played in. But I think with Dylan, he's been tested in a tough Big Ten conference and Rutgers. And I think this kid has got an upswing. Unfortunately, you know, of course, San Antonio don't have Pop no more because of his situation. He had to retire. But I like what San Antonio is doing. And I think he's going to fit in very well because there are no big names down in San Antonio. And I think this kid has an opportunity to come right through the door. And if he can do what he did at Rutgers, he's got a hell of a career.
Yeah. And like I said, I was just saying just before you came back, basketball is in his blood from Ron. So I just think that it's going to be exciting to see what he does there in San Antonio. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in San Antonio. I literally just found the photo of they did like a side-by-side photo of him at Rutgers, and also I forgot that Ron played for the Lakers. So let me bring this picture up. You'll probably appreciate that. Yeah, I forgot how many teams Ron was on. So this is him in the Lakers. That's his father, and then that's the son Dylan when he was playing for Rutgers. So yeah.
That's Byron Scott. So that's not his own man. I can't see that. But Ron, even though he went to LA, he would love Bill the Bulls. That's where he got the rings at. That's where he got the rings. Got the rings in the shot. I don't care what he did with the Lakers. He got the rings in the shot. Period. Got the rings in the shot. And speaking of that, before we get out of here tonight, we're going to talk about which I'm always arguing with all of these guys and read you on tonight. You know, you've been talking to me all night. I just sent Coach Justin earlier today, Val, what I need to send you. While Michael Jordan is the bull, is the epitome of everything. The bull, the bulldozer, the construction company, the housing development, the engineering. Jordan is Jordan. His stats are off the charts in terms of playoffs. And I can't repeat it all because I just kind of found a video today. But for what LeBron has done, absolutely incredible. And I can't thank LeBron enough. If I had the ability to put little Tony on like LeBron put Bronny on, take it to the bank. And I'm so glad. I know they get a lot of haters that talk about that, but I don't know one person in the world that don't want their kid to do well. So whether he or she does what they're supposed to do, you're supposed to sell them to the moon. And that's exactly what LeBron has done. And Lil Bronny has came back this year, Val, and he's playing much, much better. And we talked about his stats he's been putting up. He's been playing okay in the summer league, and I think he's playing himself into being a pro, right? We all know, keep it real 100, he wasn't ready for the league. Even though LeBron sold him that high, did a great job. That's why he had to go to the G League. He had to work it out. But now he's back with the Lakers. Now the question is, what is LeBron going to do? Is he going to retire with the Lakers? Is he going to play one season, get the money he's got, opt out his contract, and go someplace else, take Bronny with him? Who knows? But for right now, they are in LA. And I think LeBron James Jr. will have a much, much, much better season his sophomore year in the league. Trust me.
All right. So we're going to wrap up our third quarter, and I guess we'll go ahead and come on back after some messages.
Be right back with the Pull Up Podcast Show.
Here we go. All righty. Oh, and there we go. Yeah, and I was on your IG and I saw a picture of you and Al Jarreau.
Yeah, I met Al Jarreau after a show. We hang out together in an after party. George Duke was an actual friend of mine. We actually did a joint project in LA. Literally shared the stage with Shaka Khan at one point, and she was performing and I was performing after her. It's one of those things you go, is this really happening? Is this really happening to me?
Of all of the heroes that you've met, who was the one that stood out the most?
I think for me, I think George Duke.
Yeah,
because he was just not just a musician or a producer, but he sort of was an architect of style.
Man, welcome back to the Pull Up Podcast Show with your one and only Coach Tony. And this is, man, a heck of a night that you're hanging in here, kicking it with me on the sports side of the night. I got to get our girl, CJ Charles. That's my girl. We got to get her back on the show. I love her.
I know you do. Derek, as we get back into talking about a little bit regarding some of our NBA drafts or folks that have come in or who are actively playing. He says Bronny has developed to be an NBA player, a role player to support a team. He's solid. That's a great compliment from Derek, because that's a great compliment. What do you say to that, Tony?
I think if you take what Derek just said, the most important piece of the sentence he just wrote is a role player. I don't think Bronny's at the stage right now, Val, he can step in the starting lineup. And I think that if they had did this kid differently, he'd have never went to the G League. And just listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
When you got a dad, right, that's being compared in the same sentences with Michael Jordan, that tells me that you got a hell of a dad, right? Because you don't get compared GOAT conversations unless that. The problem is, when you're his son, everybody's coming for your head night in and night out because they're letting you know you're not your daddy, dude. Right? And LeBron protected him as much as he could. But in this game, and as Derek mentioned, because he's a football guy, Michigan State, and he's a captain, once you step on that gridiron, and once you step on that floor, mom and dad can't protect you no more. Once you step on that tennis court and get that racket, mom and dad can't protect you no more. You got to go out there and ball out. You got to go play. You got to be that athlete. You got to create your own legacy. And I think what I respect about Bronny is I go back and I look at Jeffrey and Marcus when they tried to step in Jordan's footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey had no business. He wasn't ready. But Marcus, the baby boy, I love Marcus, was a dog. He came through UCF, down in Central Florida, and he was ready. He had the body, 6'5", 6'6", 210, 215, 220, could play, but he didn't have the dog. He wasn't ready. He wasn't hungry enough. Because why? Because when your old man is Jordan, you got to fall back. And I think LeBron, having given Bronny the fallback, he's making him earn it. And what I love about it is that Bronny is doing just that. He's like, okay, I got something to prove. And like Derek said, if you can make him a role player and you bring him underneath and he can be in that 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th man off the bench, Val, right? Where he's sitting on the bench and coming into the game where the game is moving and you can sit there and watch I think he's going to be okay. I think he'll have a good career. How long? I don't know, but I think he'll have a decent career.
Yeah, and I think with if he handled the pressure of, number one, just being the son of this very famous father. Let's just start there.
Yep.
You block those things out so that you can focus on the game. So him playing the G League probably prepped him. And as your friend Derek said, he's a solid player. And here's the thing. I know all players they want to be the star. They want to be the shooting guard or the person that gets they want to be the center. Right. You know, getting all of the accolades and stuff. But remember, and I'm thinking back to the Bulls, and I'm thinking back to Rodman when he was the top rebounder. To me, that was a strong support system to what was happening with Pippen and Jordan. Right. You need people that's going to support the entirety of the team. And that could be in rebounds, that could be in assists, that could be in blocks, it can be in any of those things. And they are just as important as the star or the top scorer of any team. That's just my thoughts.
You know what you just said?
What I just say? I don't know.
You just said, do your job. Right? That's what you just said. Do your damn job. Because what you just said was perfect. We didn't bring Rodman in the 90s in to do anything else besides whoop your ass and rebound. We knew Rodman was going to be physical. He was going to throw you on the ground because he came out of that Detroit Piston bad boy. And Jordan already know we got to ass whoop 2 or 3 times before we figured out how to win. So why not go get a piston and go get the baddest piston of all? Dennis Rodman, somebody that don't care. I love the guy Bill Laimbeer, but he wasn't ready for us. But Rodman could run the floor, could rebound the ball. He didn't give a damn about shooting unless he was open. I think Rodman, and again, young fellows, young women, looking at professional level. If you become the best person at your position and do what you can do to help the team win, you don't always have to be the scorer. Rodman averaged 2.2 points per game, but he averaged 12 rebounds per game. So he did something opposite of a scorer, right? We guys averaging if you averaging between 12 and 16 or between, say, 14 and 18 points a game for a career. The NBA, that's a great career. Shit, Mike averaged 30. So imagine Mike playing a day when you can't touch him. Mike averaged 50 or 60. But then you got a guy that's down low and Dennis Rodman who walks in the game in the very first play down the court, Val, put that elbow right in your side of your neck or in your rib cage. You know what I'm saying? And then run back down the court and smile at you, right? And then maybe pinch on your bottom and blow in your ear because you're like, whoa, what's going on? But he didn't care because he just wanted to distract you so he can get the rebound. Why? Because if the Bulls won the conference, if the Bulls went to the playoffs, and if the Bulls won the Eastern Conference division, and his stats were above everybody else, that was 200, 300, 400, 500,000, $1 million. So I'm playing for my bonus check. And that's all Dennis Rodman understood. That's what I'm hoping that the league kind of gets back to, which is kind of what Derek was alluding to. Be these role players. Be these guys what's needed. Bronny doesn't need to come out and be the best version of LA Lakers. His old man is that. But if he can be the best version of the best role player off the bench, then people are going to always talk about you, Val. You know that. Somebody's going to always say, and as I get better even on this podcast game, if you don't have haters, you ain't doing what the hell you're supposed to do. Because if you got everybody agreeing with you, then you got too many yes men. You want the haters. Because the haters will tell you what you're doing wrong, you can straighten that out. Then the haters become lovers. And I think that's what's happening with LeBron James Jr.
Yeah, and I think how many points, because people are always wondering, how many points did Bronny score? Like, what did he do? Like, is he living up to what he did? And here's the thing with he was matched up against Cooper Flagg in one of the summer league games that happened on July 10th. And they, I think it was the final score was 87-85 on that Thursday. But here's the thing, he held his own. And like I said, this is, I think that, he got a total of 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and one turnover. And he was on the floor for about 20 minutes. But I like what Derek said, that he's turning out to be a solid player. And Derek also says Angel Reese is the Dennis Rodman of the WNBA.
For sure. We just got to get the Sky some more wins, Derek. We can get the Sky some more wins and all that.
Yeah.
So, so as we come down to the thick of thing to get out of here, I'm going to give you my, for promotional purposes only, we're going to click to the WNBA. I've got the Minnesota Lynx and Nafisha Collier winning it all. That's Coach Tony, for promotional purposes only. I have them. I think Breonna Stewart will take the New York Liberties back. Got the New York Liberty and the Lynx for a rematch, but I think Minnesota wins it all this year. And I got a big FanDuel ticket. I can't tell you how much it's worth, but I'm just telling you, Minnesota Lynx, Fisher Collier and Company wins the WNBA championship 2025-26.
And if our
Ooh, there's an aces.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the funny thing is if our guest Sonia was here and she had heard you said I'm rooting for Minnesota, she
loved it because she played with the Lynx. Exactly. And she was one of the original draft people from the Charlotte Sting. So Val, I was so pumped up because, we just talked to my girl, Cheryl Crawley, right? We just had Cheryl on the show. She was a Charlotte draft pick and went to Cleveland Rockers. And so they were all back in that same time period. So I'm excited and continue to, again, people, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for sharing the show. Thank you for loving us. Me and Val do a tremendous job bringing you quarter by quarter sports information and whatnot. Make sure you like us, share the show. More importantly, subscribe to the show. We need the number. We need to continue to build this thing because we're going to continue to bring you big-time people to the show. And next week is no different. We continue to bring you just hitter after hitter after hitter after hitter. So next week, next Monday.
Wait. Stop. As a producer, let me stop. Okay, let me stop you real quick. Thank you very much, Coach, for having me on the show. But now you need to talk about what you do with Rise NIL.
Well, before we talk about next week's show, and Val, I love you when you're on with me because you have no imagination that I'm so proud of you that, I remember, hey, everybody, when I was working with Val, she had a bib on, like a baby bib. You know what I'm saying? Sports was a baby bib. But now she's into the show. She's watching tennis. She's watching sports. She's watching football. She calls me sometime. I see, did you see such and such? I can't believe, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, I like that. Because that means she's getting into it, just like she gets me on our Tuesday night show with music and entertainment. But with the Rise, I love it because the NIL has become so large when it comes to college sports and these athletes. So I am working with these college athletes with the NIL, with the Rise at www.therisenil.com, where we work to do everything we can do to make sure that these athletes have the opportunity to unleash their potential with these brands so they can get paid. So if you want to know more information, reach out to me at www.therisenil, or you can reach out to me on Instagram at the Pull Up Podcast Show. Now, I'm
going to talk about my book.
How the DJs, I got DJ that dropped a set for you last night. How the DJ saved your life? I saved it. I did that.
So you guys can pick up a copy by going to our website, purelightHousemedia.com, not .net, but .com. I need to change that. But that is the book I am looking for. Yes, and now the print version of the book is now available. So really excited like that. More information, you could scan the QR code and find out more about the book. Now, coming up tomorrow is our entertainment show, and that is Interlude Section Presents Talk on Tuesdays. Coach, what movies did you check out over the last week or so? I couldn't get through the Madeira movie. I couldn't finish it. I only saw a couple of minutes of it.
Oh, that was hilarious. We go talk about that, so make sure you watch it.
And also, we'll be letting you guys know of some of the new films that are coming out over the next couple of months. There is a film coming out called Ruth and Boaz. I'm interested in that. And Tyler Perry produced it, but he also produced it with another something Franklin, the gentleman who used to be married to Megan Good, Devon Franklin. I knew his name would come to me, Devon Franklin. So Ruth and Boaz. I will be talking about that film. But the Destination
I want you to check out the States too with John Cena and Idris Elba. That's a good one.
I saw that. Now that was fun. That was a fun one because we could definitely talk about that one as well. But yeah, so what's coming up next week, Coach? Who's coming up
next week is my boy. He watching right now down in Florida, down in Orlando. His daughter is down in the competition for performers. They doing all these dancing performances. It's totally different because his whole career he performed on a football field. And he just got elected to the state of Mississippi Hall of Fame, none other than my homeboy, ex-former Tennessee Titan running back, brother Dexter McCluster. Whew! I can't wait to get Dex on. We gonna have some fun next week. It's gonna be, as they say, the old school setting, fun. I've been chill out, but I know D. Reed know that song. He gonna say something to me about that song.
which is a lot of fun. So cool. But I'm grateful that you guys joined us on this special edition of the Pull Up Podcast Show. Because when you see me, that means it's fun talk. We have fun when we do our
I love when I got Val on, so everybody know that I just like to your development. You're developing. You know, I gotta come at you like James Earl Jones. You're developing around here. So it's been great. So listen, everybody, thank you once again on this wonderful Monday night. Be back here every single Monday night. Don't meet me on the show. Beat me to the show. Especially next week when I got my boy Dexter McCluster here tomorrow and next week. We're going to talk about his Hall of Fame opportunity he got for the state of Mississippi come out of Ole Miss. So I need all those Ole Miss fans showing up, and I think we're going to have a great show. But again, continue to like us, share us, and subscribe to the Pull Up Podcast Show. But as we get ready to go, Val and I know what to do. Put them up.
Peace.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. Val's the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. So I said Val's the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the Pull Up Podcast. So it's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. So it's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. So Kev is the engineer. Val is the one you hear. Hey, Coach Tony got the sports show. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. So I said Kev is the engineer. Val is the one you hear. Hey, Coach Tony got the sports show. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. So it's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. Let's go. Hey. Let's go. Hey. Let's go. Hey. Let's go.